best practice in the laundry industry, an interview with an expert from India. I've come to know Raikumar Srivastav from India in a phone call that we had, a video call that we had a few weeks ago. And I thought it's a very good idea to make a YouTube video together. So I want to share the webinar that we did. If you like it, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And there is also a download down in the video description of a management guide with the current situation of the inflation that we have right now. And now, without further ado, let's start the webinar.
In my case, I completed my MTech in chemical from a premium institute from Mumbai, one of the premier institute in India, and then worked for a company in technical services for surfactant and specialty chemicals making. And then before starting the business, I worked as a project manager for a detergent plant in Bahrain, and it's almost around 3,000 ton per month production capacity, liquid and powder both. Where I joined as a project manager, then promoted as a product development manager, formulated many products and in liquid detergent, powder detergent for various industries, including laundries, garages, then heavy duty, hotels, hospitals, disinfectant, a lot of things. And then finally promoted to general manager level, controlling the company. But I decided that, okay, I have to start my own because of entrepreneur background. 96, I came to India and started this industrial laundry business.
Where have you been before?
I was in Dubai for almost 4 years, and Dubai, and then Bahrain, this detergent plant was there. Almost that is also around 4.5 years. Then within 8 to 10 months, we started the plant because brought machinery from Taiwan, then Thailand, India, all clubbed together there and started the plant in Bahrain. The company is still existing, Mashal Chemical Industries. And that was in 1992. Then 96, I came to India and started this industrial laundry business. So initially 3 to 4 years, we were servicing all machines, all imported machines from hotels, hospitals, and then slowly we put up our own laundry and started doing the projects for private projects. So that's experience from project to consultancy to operation maintenance, and then clicked with consultancy for Unilever company for their retail laundries. So that was only 5 years I had in the process, 1997 to 2003 or 4. So this is how everything was there, and we slowly progressed and tried to acquire as much as knowledge with regards to laundry machinery. Then I had an agency also for Doga, one of the Belgian company, Doga. They call Dehuch or Doga.
Okay.
Yeah. They sold their machines almost 7-8 years in western region of India, and sold to, and especially to Hinduja Hospital, then Jaslok Hospital, and Tata Memorial Hospital. These are big hospitals in Mumbai, cancer hospital. And so it was a project experience. It was, you can say, even operation maintenance. Some of the customer that time, after completing the projects, they have given me the operation maintenance contract of the laundries. So obviously, then training of the employee become the most important part for us. So we used to train the people for various jobs, supervisors, and that's a continuous process. We also learn a lot of things. So machinery, spare parts, production, linen, chemicals, and this become a routine part for us. So this is how we progressed. And of course, we limited with our areas, did not go much out of the western area because we had a lot of work in western regions, and did not want to expand to eastern part or west, you can say southern and all this. So we were happy with what we are getting. So, but it is a experience which we had. So in the process, we made a lot of people in mechanics, you see, operation managers, then supervisors, operators, training. So it's a continuous part. So since 1996 till today, you see, we are still, you can say, it's a stable company, and we always almost had on an average 5 to 6 plant under us always. So income source was always there in that. Maybe.
So what I understand is you own right now 2 plants.
Yeah, I'm owning 2 my own plants,
and you
then
are managing 3
I'm managing
plants.
3 other plants. Yes,
yep. Where you have a partnership like profit sharing.
Yes, yep. Yes, I'm partner there. So some or other day it was 5, 6, 5, 3, 4, 5 plant always under our control. Every 5, 6 years or so.
And so, what I actually really liked is we had our first meeting on Zoom when you were in the States.
Yeah.
And I actually liked it that you say you can be 8 weeks in the States and your businesses are not collapsing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I give credit to our attitude towards the training of the people, building people.
Yep.
Generally in India, you see, some people think that, okay, if you train people, people leave the job, they go for betterment and all this. But that's a fate. That we can, that is not in our hand. But unless until we educate our downstream people, how can they be responsible?
Yep.
They will be only responsible if we train them.
It's a big one.
Yeah. So, and training from very, we say, atomic thinking to build like a big units, you know.
Yep.
It requires a lot of knowledge and experience. So we share those experiences with our juniors, definitely. And we always keep our cards open. Whenever somebody wants to ask something, they can come with your question and they can answer. To understand the thing also requires knowledge, he says. So this is how we are very open-minded with our employees. And of course, those who are with us and those who are already gone there, we have good relations with those people.
Okay. So that's maybe the right segue.
Yeah.
I appreciate really your background that you have.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I think that it's obviously a good job, and I appreciate it also because I also invested quite a lot into training of my employees, and I did much Toyota production system since 2009. And Toyota actually says we are not just producing cars, we are developing people. And I personally think that this is the right attitude also in the laundry business, because you have labor costs, and labor is one of the most important things.
Yes.
And, you need to train your people. You need to take them serious. You need to appreciate them. And this is actually, on the one hand, a competitive advantage, but it's also something that is probably makes or breaks a laundry operation.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I have made a slide.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So that because I'm a little bit ahead, so I know what we are talking about. And I will change my screen to the slides again.
Okay.
Always in between, and I have 7 points that are important for the laundry business. So the first one is appropriate plant facility.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah. See, actually, today's topic is that best practices for
Yep.
laundry management. Okay. Now, I will start with saying that basically this is categorized into a service sector, the service industry, and we know that it is an integral part of your any hospital and hotels. So every hotel and hospital is having a laundry. Either it is in their premises or they get it done from outside. So it's a mandatory. But last few years, there have been around 25, 30 years, there socio-economic changes have taken place. And there have been developments of like retails, then residential schools, colleges, universities. So in premises laundry have also started for students, for schools and also for colleges. So this area has now broadened in India also. Now, each of these requirements for laundry is a unique, whether it is a hospital, whether hotel, a retail, or university. It is a unique and requires some assessment of the situation. When I say unique, there is an assessment. What are the things to be required? So assessment with regards to size of laundry, what size you need, technically what kind of machines you need, what kind of utilities you need in the premises. And also some legal aspects are there because there are some of the pressure vessels like your boiler and other thing in the premises. So legality also, and also because it is a unit, it is like a factory. So you need a legal permissions from the local authority to operate that. Of course, the environmental issues are there because you are there's a, you can say, an influence going on, influence which is going out. But then there is a from boiler flue gases are there. So you need a permission, environmental permissions from also for this kind of. And finally, the financial aspect, what kind of size you are making, what is the money required, and all this thing, what profitability are there. So all this aspect is equally important for a project like a laundry. And one has to seriously look at each and every point before he puts the units. Because if you are ignoring any one of these, definitely you are putting yourself into a trouble. You see. Yep. So that's about. Then, of course, since the laundry is 365 days operation, it is a very challenging to run it on 365 days uninterrupted. At the same time, the life of the person who are working and the life of the owner or life of the supervisor manager should also go parallelly. So they should live and they should work. Both should be done in a very happy manner. You see, there should not be strain. So this factor is very important. See, you can do a job and slog around, and then when you come back home, then you really find, oh, this job is not good and thing is that. We complain a lot of people. I've seen many laundries coming and going in India. They run for 10 years, 5 years, 12 years, 15 years. They get tired. They sold out the project to somebody else. He sells the project to somebody else. Well, but we are there where we are. We are happy with the laundry business. We train people and we are also happy. The art lies for best practice of laundry management, which I have compiled into this 7 factor which you have shown. Yep. So I think I will speak on each factor. Yep. And try to at least explain some of the things which we follow.
The next one.
Now, for having a best practices for your laundry management. So the first point, which important factor I see, is a appropriate plant facility. Normally in India, you see, of course, unlike Europe, in India we have a small setup. So when I say small laundry, normally it is 1 to 2 ton per day approximately. And if it is a medium laundry, 2 to 10 tons, and then big laundries about 10 tons. If you really categorize, if you're really trying to find out, then small and medium laundry, which are between 1 ton to 10 ton, this makes around 80-85% of the total Indian business of laundry. So you can say 10 to 15% laundry which are considered about 10 ton laundry which are existing. And these are very big laundries, like railways and all this, and these are very big sizes. But most of the operations in laundry in India is between 1 to 10 ton. That is a small and medium.
Mm.
Again, in this, as I said, there are 4 sectors: hotels, of course, 5-star, 7-star, 3-star hotels, and even the small lodges and other things. Then hospitals, then big hospitals, right from 1,000 bed to as low as a 200 bed or 50 bed. There are many hospitals. That's the second sector. Third is retail. That is a retail business, specialized garments. What previously there used to shops only, which was only as a collecting center. But nowadays people have started small units. Now you'll find lot of franchises have come up, and they have made a small laundry at all the places instead of just collecting center. So this has come up in last year, 10, 15 years. Many laundries have come up in that. So they take the linen. So you give the linen in the morning, you can get the linen in the evening. That's the third sector. The fourth sector which has developed is semi-retail work. That is, again, as I say, university, colleges, school, and all these things.
Mm.
So every big schools and all the residential school, they are having these very good facilities on that. And I'm fortunate that last 22 years, I am running one of the marine engineering college laundry at Pune, almost around 125 kilometers from Mumbai. See. Last 22 years we are running this. That setup is totally different. So operation different. So in all these sectors, if you study, then machines, what you need is appropriate plant machinery. So normally machinery, if you call terminology, they are washers, they are dryers, they are flat work ironer, presses, utility equipments, then compressor, boiler, these. There are so many machinery. But when I use the term appropriate, that means the sizes should match to each other. Capacities. You see, when I say hotel, normally if you see that 60% of the linen are flat linen, 40% are uniform towels and other things, then proportionately you should have the equivalent machineries for that. That is lacking in some places in India. Even the 80% which I talked about, you see, about small and medium industry, you will never find that matching combination of this.
Okay.
Either your calendar is big or your washing capacity is small, or sometimes washing capacity is big, and then flat work and other capacities are slow. So these are never matchings.
Yeah, it's also the same. It's also in Europe in many cases the case that operators. So on the one hand, you have old machines that do not fit to the new customers, and on the other hand, you have sometimes opportunistic buying of equipment just because you are on a trade show. Some cheap used equipment. All of a sudden you have you screw up your plant layout.
So the burden comes down to utilities. Like if you have a boiler, then again you are getting additional steam heated machinery. You do not have that capacity to feed that too. So pressure will be low, and there will be more technical problem rather than thing. And this will mess up your situation in a way that your timing increases. So that's why I use the term appropriate plant capacity. So that's word is a machine. Sometimes, see, even the machine, if you see, there are a lot of versions of machines available. Heavy duty machines are available. Commercial machines are different. Open pocket machines, 2-shaft machines. So assessment of proper machinery is very important before you do this. Many due to many options. See, if you for the same capacity, if you have a front loaded machines, you get a very cheaper price, you see. But if for that you go for industrial machine, 2-shaft machine, they are very expensive. For hospital, if you see the hospital machines, they are pass-through machines. Many hospitals are having pass-through. These are pass-through machines are again expensive than your normal front-loaded machines or something. So when I say appropriate plant capacity, so one is to have appropriate plant facility, proper facility for a particular capacity. 3 ton per day, you should have proper facility so that you can complete the work within 8 to 10 hours of that day, if you are operating at one shift. So that's a very important part, you say. Well, the machineries are available under different features now with a different, you can say, means reducing your labor cost, water cost, energy saving, and all. These are many, you see, in the market, they are available. And but for your this thing project, you should properly choose all this equipment. Because if you don't choose it properly, for the same capacity, your operation cost will be different. It will not be same. And once you buy the machine, you cannot throw it out. You see. Like you see, for a you can have 100 kg of 500 kg, 100 kg of 5 machines for 500 kg capacity per hour. At the same time, you can have 150, like these options are there. It depending upon where you are trying to do this job. So obviously the question goes to your designing part. So that's another area, specialized area to think about what kind of machines we need. So that is yeah.
What I think in this is business school, you have this nice sentence: structure follows strategy. And normally you think always about the organizational chart and structure. Actually, the structure is also your plant layout and your processes.
Yes.
So when you decide to go after this and that market, then you need to decide what is the appropriate plant layout, how much space do you need, where shall the plant be, and then the equipment. So first you need to know what is the strategy, how do you differentiate yourself, why should the customer buy from you?
That's true.
And then you decide which layout you have that is appropriate to this strategy. And the point is, if you make a wrong decision there, then actually you regret it each and every day. So you buy a wrong machine once.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
And the next 10, 20 years, or how long you have this equipment, you have always the issue that you bought the wrong one. So that's,
absolutely.
And that's huge. That's really huge. So
that's huge.
I appreciate your point there with appropriate plant facility.
Well, one point I want to add here, Chris, that whenever guiding people, I tell them while choosing machine, you remember a triangle. When you see a triangle has the 3 points, okay. So if the first point on the top is your capacity of unit which you are making, and second corner is your size of each machine and version, you see, then third corner will be your profitability. It means that for the same capacity, if your sizes are varying, if it is inappropriate or the versions are not correct, then your profitability will be varying. It will not be same. So they are all correlated. So that's why one has to be very specific about what type of segment you are going to cater, and at the same time, what capacity you are going to make of the machines. And then the next things will come out.
So you said capacity. Capacity.
So
you said the
size of the machines.
Size,
And the size and the version of the type of the machines.
And then you have the cost structure, basically, the profitability.
Yeah, that's a profitability. So for the same capacity which you have on the top, on left-hand side, if you are changing the size of the machines, then your profitability will vary because your operating cost will vary. So first you decide your capacity, what capacity you are making, 3 tons, 5 tons, 10 tons per day. And then accordingly choose the sizes of machine which you are there. Then your profitability will be correct. And of course, sizing and matching your utilities are equally important in that case.
So I think we should move on to the second one.
Everyone
is looking for the second one.
Okay. So as we see that best practices, the first is appropriate. When you have appropriate plant facility, the second is the operations cycle standardization. When we know that your operations has started and the cycle is started, you started catering your customer. The routine jobs which are involved is basically starts from your collection from the site or collection from the hospital or hotel, whichever sector we are going. Then if it is the first time, we are marking those linens for the specific hotel, because it is not the only hotel you are catering. There will be 5-6 hotels which will be catering from that. Then counting, then load preparation when it comes to your laundry. Load preparation in the sense size of the machine, like your 100 kg washer machine is, where you are making 100 kg bed sheets, 100 kg towels and other things also together in that. That is the load preparation I'm talking about. Then washing cycle, programming, everything, color, white and all program. So that's comes into the washing. Then drying, calendaring, ironing, checking, packing of the customer, and finally delivery next day. So this cycle, operation cycle, has to be standardized. The timing, program, color, quality, standard, this has to be, that is what called operation cycle standardized. Normally it happens over the period, because you see, it's not a one-day job. You see, it takes at least standardization few weeks before you conclude on something that. So it also indirectly says your standard gets stabilized. So it will get this cycle of linen coming and delivery. The whole cycle, once you standardize the timing, the everything, then I can say that, okay, now things are in a control. And parallel to this, you continue training your people, you see. So that's another thing we will
that's
come
the
to that
next
point.
one. We do not want to spoil it.
Yeah. So standardization of your operation is very important in that case. See, it may happen that you may lose one customer after, say, a year or two, or you may add another one or two. That's another programming. Before you take up another job, you try to calculate your capacity, your people, your costing and everything. Then you take up the job. See, that's the right way of doing it, you see. Yeah. So that, yeah.
So what I understand from here is also that it's basically similar to the appropriate plant facility you need, which is the hardware somehow, and the operational cycle standardization is somehow the software.
Yeah.
So you have a hardware, and then you have, that's the operating system, basically.
Operating system, yes. Yeah.
And then you install Windows 10 or 11, or whatever.
Yeah. So it is a standardization of operation, actually.
And to this hardware. And that's the operation cycle standardization. And I think that's really important, because when Windows breaks down,
yes. Yeah. Because in that cycle there may be breakdowns also. So you have a mechanic also who is a trained mechanic is properly. Normally it's a very well, we'll come to that also again, because
and I think what I would add to this is it's important to reduce complexity there. So if you want to do everything for everyone, then you cannot standardize, and then you can also not be profitable, because you're just improvising every day. So you need to know, and therefore again you start from the strategy. What is your product, your service that you provide? And when you know what you sell, then you also know what you do not sell. And in this case, it's important to say no to customers who are not suitable to your operation cycle.
Correct.
That's what I would add to this point. So that's the point is here, the cycle from the client to the client, and that this is standardized there.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Yeah. So
for everyone, if you look beyond his shoulder, then you see the cheat sheet on the whiteboard.
Yeah. So I written on the backboard so that it remains in the language. You also showing that. But in this operation cycle, of course, we also consider that time of the start and end. When you standardize the thing, what time the laundry will start, what time the laundry will end. Of course, then what is the quantity you are washing and which are the customer you are targeting. And maybe specific person going for collection delivery to all the places. So all this standardized means manpower and the engineering services and your system, everything, whatever consumables are there, even the chemicals, water qualities, you're standardizing everything in this cycle. You see. So that's the part. And then we go to third part is the most important part of the whole thing is the trained staff and regular updation. Say train staff and continuing training. That's a continuous part in an industry. So, well, in the operations, we have different people depending upon the size of we have managers, we have laundry managers, laundry supervisors. Then we have washermen, we have operators who are trained for. Then we have collection delivery boys whose job is to collect and deliver the linen. Then we utilities operator like a boiler operator, so has to be a trained operator, and there are minimum requirements also. There's a government requirement that a minimum qualification for that. Then the most important is the laundry mechanic who keeps your machine intact and going. So all these people have to be specifically trained for the regular updation of that. Now, when the new employee comes to your organization, then he should be trained for use of machines. He should be use of chemicals, then use of utilities and soft hot water or whatever may you have, hygienic, maintaining laundry, cleanliness. So all this has to be trained to your people. It is very essential that your person should be trained. What happens if you have trained employees, then operation of the machine is very important. Your life of machine also get protected. Life of your system get protected. Life of your linen get protected. Life of customer linen get protected. So quality checks at every point, quality checks on every day. These are the very important points. Now, how you do it? See, that's not a one-day job. So you make them some habit. You make proper systems. The most important thing to do is that you make them to make a daily report. Now you make them to write a daily water report. Of course, in European country, American company, the water supplied by local authority doesn't vary much in specification. But here in India, most of the water which is used here are groundwater. The groundwater, of course, that the composition is not same here. What we have here, another 50 kilometers, the composition is different. If you are going deeper ahead, again, the composition is different. So this has to be processed, treated with either RO or only softeners, and then fed to your washing levels. Because boiler has certain specification it operates. You cannot go beyond certain TDS, beyond hardness. So those technical things has to be managed. Similarly, your washing quality has to be good. It has to be a good quality water. So whatever may be your incoming water, you have to process to certain requirement of these machineries, you see. So this is another challenging part in India, you see. But if you are in a certain industrial state, like we have MIDC or some other, there you get a persistent quality of water, but not all places. But this water is again expensive. So it's not it's a considerable cost, you see, to use the water in that. So as I said, to train people, you should make a system in such a way that you make a daily report, you make a water report, softener report, or whatever machine you are using, boiler fuel, what is the consumed, what daily fuel is consumed, what is the linen coming and going from each of these your customers, segregated. So all this report, maybe it is taking 15 or 20 minutes after the work is over, but this is a mandatory, including your chemical report, your employee registers, absence, presentee, or anything, you see. Then again, transport report, what time the transporter left your factory, what time they reach the customer, how much linen is collected within say 1 hour or 2 hours, or then coming back to the laundry is how much time, whether you get traffic on that road or whether it is clear, either you are going early morning. So all these factors is again a part of the training, you see. And finally, a technician has to make the maintenance report for whatever is needed. So all these.
But then we are actually already at the fourth one.
Sorry.
Then we are already at the fourth one. Is this the report?
Yeah. So that is. Then we'll go to fourth one. So the third one, I would say, the most important point. Because that your employees are controlling the system. So if the trained people are there, then your plant will be good, intact, low maintenance, and all these things. You see, so there are many advantages of that. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we are going to the fourth one now, the laundry operation controls. Now, this is the factor which directly affects your profitability. Now, here it's a balance between quality, service, and your cost, basically. So when I say operation controls, it means that for a fixed quantity of your linen, if your plant is a 3 ton per day or 5 ton per day or 10 per day, you have already standardized with your operations how many number of employees are needed to do this job, how many employees are needed, trained employees are needed to operate this job. So this your training reduces your number of people. I don't mean that training will, you see, if you are not trained properly people, then you need more number of people to do that job, you see. So, but it starts from day one. So if you have made a habit of employing too many people, then again the training part again, you see, it becomes very, very difficult part, you see. So you slowly add to the people one or one and you train them. So by doing this operation controls, you are fixing for a particular quantity processed, 3 ton, 5 tons, what is the fuel consumed, what is the power consumed, what is the timing from start to end, what is the number of employees working there, water controlling, then your transfer efficiency, how much it's collected. So basically it gives you a clear indication of what will be your profit at the 30th day, end of the month, you see. In this, if you are not managing this, then on the first day, you won't be able to manage on the 30th day. So from first day, if you are trying to quantify these things properly, then it is indirectly a laundry operation control, you see. So if yesterday was 3 ton, today is 3 ton, so I should get the same type of parameter, similar, at least plus or minus 3%, which was yesterday. So this is how it's going to be on 30th day. But normally what happens? Normally, because of any reasons, the laundry starts late, ends late, next day again late. So these practices loses its operation control, I would say.
Yeah, and the point is, I think you need to do it on a daily basis, or maybe even sometimes on an hourly basis on some circumstances. For some parameters, because then you can react on deviations very fast.
Yeah, normally, see, I've seen for the same load today, power unit is around, consumed is 300 units. After 3 days, it is 350 units, or some other it is 400 units. The reason is that there is a ignorance from some of the employees, untrained new employees. The dryer is operating, even though your linen gets dried, another 10-15 minutes, it is just rotating. So if you add this 10 minutes to each, then it goes 2 hours, you see. So that's a very important factor into that. This is how the things goes beyond control. So that's why I say, once you, for a 5 ton capacity, 5 ton capacity starts at 12 o'clock in the evening and ending at 9:30, maximum half an hour its allocation is okay. But you should make a standards inside in a such a way that your operation controls into the control.
Yep.
Actually, this is what we have imparted at all our units, See, maybe 5% here and there is acceptable.
So that's your secret why you can be 8 weeks in America.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, I would say that I have trained my people. That's the thing, you see.
Yeah.
So even I am not there for 8-9 weeks, so it doesn't make anything. They are very capable enough to look after the unit, say. But normally, I would give credit to the employees only, those who are controlling these things, you see, on daily basis, you see. Yeah.
Okay, the next one.
Yeah, so next is the fifth one is regular motivation of staff. That's another important. After employing, training, and these things, and this regular motivation of staff for longer period of operations. When I say longer period, it is employed. There should not be continuous changeover of employees. You see, maybe 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. Of course, I have people those who are since beginning they are with me. Of course, and for some people are 5 years, 10 years. So any training or any this thing, it requires some longer period of, say, before you take up the bigger job. For any employee, if they from supervisor, they want to go to manager or higher scale, they need to learn a lot of skills in the laundry, which are basically scientific, but these are very small things, you see. So regular motivation of staff, this keeps the complete environmental into working into positive mode. Right. I would say that it is very also important to how you select the people also to start with. You see, the most important thing. You see, what should be the criteria of selecting people? You see, my criteria is first he should be honest. And second, he should have integrity. Qualification doesn't matter for me. I have observed over the period, if his integrity is good, if he is honest, no matter after a few years he is living with you, no problem. He learned and he will depart some other day. But he should be honest till last day, and you should have integrity. Then you can teach any person anything.
Yeah, and also able to work hard.
Work hard on that. So one should not feel hard that, okay, he has trained now, gone to some other employee. No, that's different. But thing is that you make an environment in such a way that you regularly motivate the people for incentives, for overtime, train them for other work. Suppose they are doing some other one washerman, he now wants to learn collection delivery. You teach him collection delivery. Then you teach him from drying area or finishing area, you put him into few years into finishing area. So likewise, he will look for higher positions. Then he goes to supervisor. Then he goes for managers. No matter he leaves you, no problem. But whenever even he leaves, he has learned something from your organization. And similarly, you should train other people also, so that you have backup people also with you in case somebody goes.
Yeah. So that's also what I understood from our conversation, that you try to qualify your normal staff, so your average employee, to do different tasks in the laundry.
Yeah. So definitely.
Part of it.
Even if you take a simple example, first of all, a technician, even he is electrical qualified, he is an electrician. But I first 3 months tell him to work in laundry. I first tell him, you first should know what is linen, what is a washing machine. I make him work in the laundry. Even he is a mechanic, I tell him to work in the laundry. Because he should know the finer points of the linen also. A machine, how to adjust the calendar machines. How to adjust the pressure on the calendar machines? Why should I adjust the pressure on the laundry calendar machine? These are very important, you see. Even if you are putting over pressure, then you are damaging the linen also, you see. So there are so many things into the calendar machine. So even the finer point, he will understand when he will work with the machines. Then we train for hydraulic, pneumatic, then all other things will quite easier with that way to know on that. So as I said, regular motivation of the staff to keep in a positive, their psychological mind, their psychological health, and changing the scope of the job, or if the people requires, if they really we have to promote them, we also send them to other site also to at the end they increase their salaries and all this thing. Of course, following the government norms, whatever here there, that is also mandatory here. And this way we create a positive atmosphere of working, so that not a first day, every day they should be able to follow the standard, and they should have motivation to work every day on that. You see.
Okay, I'm really curious about point 6.
Oh, yeah. So the next point of having is the regular customer interaction. That's the most important, because ultimately customer is your God. See, I consider that he is the one who is paying you for your services, and he is paying you in time for your services. So it is always important to regularly customer interaction. This interaction is very essential for operation, is because collection, you know that your collection delivery timings, your and sometimes you require to go and check with the inventory of the linens to the customer. Then sometimes you need to check the behavior of your employees who are going for collection delivery. They are not doing any damages to their any property or anything. When I say property, in the means some trolleys or this or some of the, and they are not misbehaving there. And because this creates a good, you can say, good personality in with your customer. You see, so they think that now our service provider is worried about our linen and other things also. You see, of course, sometimes we need to go to talk to about the quality issues sometime, and also sometime after the linen becomes old, you need to discard some of the linens. You know, then in case by mistake or something, some linen gets damaged also, so you need to repair some of the linen and damage and control. And there are so many unsolved issues like stains and other things. Long-term stains are very difficult stains, you know, from hospitals or other, or even hotels also there. And those things are there. In some cases, emergencies are there in hospital. They have less linen and they have some operation next day morning, and so they say that we need in the night, you know, some linen. So with that kind of services also we honor, and so that's why we keep in regular interaction with the customers.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Then.
So that's why, so it regularizes our payments also, and also timely rate revision after a year or two, you know. So that's keeping a good relation with the customer is very important. Yep. In that case. Yeah.
And actually it doesn't cost so much, but it
doesn't cost. It doesn't cost so much, you say. And sometimes
it makes a huge difference in the perceived quality of the service.
Yeah. Even normally our office people calls our customers every week or 10 days, whether things are okay or not, whether our van is coming in time or not, and all this aspect, considering the traffic, all situation.
And what I also I don't know, that's just my experience. One experience of mine is that when you have one customer complaining, then you should take it very serious, because most of the time, half of your customers experience the same problem, but they're just not complaining. And so I became extremely aware about customer complaints. Because when you take the first complaint serious and you try to improve the process within a few weeks, then it doesn't escalate. But if you do not take it serious, then after 3 months you get an avalanche. It's I don't know.
No, that's why what you rightly say. See, follow up with the customer is very important every time with all this aspect, including the quality, standard, service, timing. These are you need to do that, all these things, and that's a regular follow up is from our offices. Sometimes some matters are sometimes some serious and all this thing. This has to, of course, but everything can be resolved by talking. We say.
Yep.
And
okay, the next one.
Yeah, the final seventh is you is the proper maintenance of the machine. So as we discussed on the first, appropriate plants and machinery, you need to properly upkeeping of the machinery is very important, I say. Especially those who are pressure vessels like boiler service. It has to be regularly descaled and cleaned properly. And seeing that everything is, every year you have to get the boiler, your pass through Indian boiler regulations. So upkeeping is very important. So because you have a varying quality of water going into it, so of course you need to be processed and checked all this. So that's a job of the maintenance. Then your washers, washer extractors we have. These are running. Sometimes you are putting lesser load into the machine, so machine will get more vibrations during proper unloading of the machine. So over the period, there are certain leakages, water leakages, then you have steam leakages, then your oil leakages, then you need to clean your traps regularly. You have to keep your everything machinery very nicely. Insulations wherever required has to be cleaned. There has to be less heat loss during the dryers, and there are so many issues regarding the maintenance. It's a continuous job in the laundry for a proper operation. So see, if an operator is working with a machine, whether it is an ironing machine, whether it is a washer extractor, dryer, anything, he always listens the voice of the machines. And the change in the voice of the machine tells him a lot of things, you see. So if you communicate properly with your operator, he will tell you now this voice was not there. And if you really content this in a proper time, then you don't get a bigger breakdown, say. So in timely upkeeping of your machinery and daily just hearing the noise of the machine, from experience, people have found that, okay, it has to be there. Whether it is a can.
Yeah, I completely agree. With once a plant, it was medium sized, so it's 10 tons in season. And we had just one CPW there, one continuous batch washer, one washer tunnel, 2 ironers, and one boiler and stuff. So there were many items, many machines that were just once there. But it was in a valley, so it was not so easy to get the linen to another plant and to service the customers from a different location. And in the beginning, when we bought this plant, it was a horror. It was, 2 days or something during high season when you have a breakdown. This is like, it's so nasty.
So nasty because
and what we then did is first we exchanged the technician, which was not so easy in this case, but then we really took the maintaining and also the cleaning of the machines very serious. And then we had, we had just next to no downtime. And when you have almost no downtime, then you are much more stable. That's a huge difference. And it was the same equipment, it was the same process, it was almost, of course we invested a little bit, but it was basically the same equipment. It was just better maintained, better cleaned, better preemptive maintenance and stuff. And it makes such a huge difference. It's incredible.
So summing up, we say the whole this thing situation. So to have best practices, I would say that all these 7 points are equally important. And out of this, as I say, third point is the trained staff. That is the continuous training of the staff. Because see, you will have best of the machineries, you say, but if you don't have best of the people to do that, so you don't know where you will be heading for it. So it is most important that you continue it. So you should have a proper provision of people who will be continuously training. So if yeah.
So what I would recommend to everyone watching, that you take this list, make a screenshot maybe, take this list and just evaluate also for yourself where is your what is green, what is yellow, what is red. And I think if you are operating a plant, then you might be able to have an idea. So it's not a science, or that you go to an benchmark laundry and compare it to yours, because I think you need to. Actually, I like this list. My compliments. I like it.
Okay.
From my point of view, you need also the marketing part of, so that it's successful. Of course, this is the operational part, but you need to do these things. So, yeah. So these, I think I like this 7.7.
Yeah.
And so if I am now really frustrated and I do not know how to implement this, is there any hope?
No, I think of course you are an experienced
Can
person.
you help?
Yeah. See, definitely. I think if you, as I said, if you follow these procedures and you yourself know the things very deeply, then it is quite possible to do the job very comfortably, no problem. And I would request all the people who are watching and who will be watching this, they should follow all this instruction minutely and try to implement in their plant.
And you're now also providing training for entrepreneurs. And for,
so that's the thing is that we have a course under the name Professional Laundry Educations. It is a 10 months course, and we are training even the basic point of the things. Of course, this in the syllabus, it is a 1.5 hour twice a week course. And that is for 10 months. So we are giving in between time to people understand the subject. Every time we take the lecture, so there 3-4 days gap is there. So if you are, of course, there is nothing. All basic your 6th, 7th, or 8th standards science, you can say, starts from there. And if you can remember those things very well, then it is easy to understand. We have tried to synchronize so many things so that you learn the things very quickly. It's a 10 months course, and it teaches everything. So it gives you a confidence basically that you can run a show and you can train the people. When you have that feeling of you can train one person, you can train 100 people. So that is a thing will keep you very rigid in your profession. See. Yeah.
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Are there questions from the audience? So
I would also request.
Are there? So can you raise your hand if you have a question, or put it into the chat, please? Okay.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
I've switched it
on.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question for Sir. When he said regarding the training of employees, Sir, I have a question saying that in the long term, would it be preferable to train your own staff or hire trained people from your competitors or from the market? What would you suggest?
Yeah, I got it. See, when you, that means you mean to say whether to hire, whether to train a new person or rather to hire a trained person, correct?
Yes, 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 right.
Yeah, I would tell you to the first one. To hire a person whom you can train rather than a trained people. I will tell you the difference, why it is.
Okay.
Because when a person is new, his software is blank. So whatever you are training to him, what are the culture you are developing to him, it will remain with him.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you don't know the person who has come and with under what training. So if he has come from some other place, will definitely gain something from you, and there is a more possibility that he will leave the job after say few years. But if you are training somebody, and so you are making a new software that way. So
Okay.
from cost wise also, it will slowly increase in your organization. You will also get the trust of the person over the period of the time, and definitely he will be also indebted to you that okay, I got a training from madam, and definitely, but for that you need to be first get trained properly. You see, that is the most essential part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You are capable enough to train those people for different type of operation into the laundry. So if you can train them, definitely you see, it is always better to have a new person and train them in your organization. No point, no problem that if you are keeping 2 extra employees with you, that is a newcomer or new, they are come as a helper, and but they get a chance to rise in the organization also. And since they have worked for longer time, some of them may develop some affinity for the organization over the period, because they get trained at that place. Of course,
okay.
they can. So I would prefer that first rather than the second one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
My personal experience is I agree to some extent.
Okay.
I think that you need to evaluate why this person has left.
Yes.
Because most of the time you get not the best people from the competition. So that's one of the most important thing. And you do not want to have the leftovers. And but if you know why this person left, or maybe he moved to a different town and he looks for a job and he used to work for a laundry, then it could also be a good idea. And but first of all, I think you should not shy away to train yourself, because then you can nurture this person in your own culture. And most of the time it's easier to train a person who is teachable than to get a person from the competition and he or she messes up your processes because he or she thinks he is the best. Yeah, that's just okay. There is your question answered?
Yeah.
Is your Rachana, is your question answered?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Other persons who want to. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. I am audible?
Yeah, you're online.
Sir, I want to ask you, if the employee not sincere, even after the training, how we deal with the employee?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's a more practical question. If the can you repeat the question, please, again?
What if the employee not sincere, even after the training?
Yeah, so your question is very nice. You have good intention of training him, and you train for the job, and of course, it's a continuous process. And if he is not sincere with his job, I would tell you to leave that person and start another person training simultaneously. Because some or other day, if he is not following certain discipline in the company, certain standards in the company, and if he is not sincere with his job, then he will never be sincere for any time. So it's better to remove him as soon as possible, or you transfer him to some other place, and you try to compensate with some other employee and start training with that. That is the best option.
Outsource to the competition.
Outsource the competition. Outsource the competition.
There's a nice saying: hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
So I think if you made a mistake because you have chosen someone who is not taking his work serious, who is showing up late or not performing to the standards and stuff, then tell this person once or maybe twice.
Twice, yeah.
But do not spend more than 2 weeks on it.
That's true. Yes.
I think you should, if the man, so identify the problem, remind them twice, and within a month make the decision. Do not postpone the decision. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Nilima your question answered?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
There is a question in the Q&A module from Patak. Is setting up a laundry 1 to 10 tons in a rural area a good idea as part of a Skill India initiative that is desired? What is the desired population density for setting up either sizes? How much employment does small and medium laundry generate? Also, are there approximate funding requirements for both if done through CSR funds? That's an Indian question. Can you answer this question?
Well, I didn't get the question, sir, properly.
Is setting up a laundry, so medium size, 1 to 10 tons a day, probably, in a rural area, a good idea as part of Skill India initiative?
Okay.
And so that's the question. There are obviously a government initiative there. And what is the desired population density for setting up such as either sizes? So probably how many?
Well, normally it happens.
That you need?
Yeah. But normally when you are designing a laundry, basically you do a market survey that what is the size of the market you have there, what type of hospital or hotel, whichever sector you are doing it. You try to find out how many hospitals and hotels are there. And then you try to finalize your capacity. I think it is other way around. I think you are asking question on the other side. So my request to the person who is asking question, because you are in a rural area. So rural area, you will hardly find some big hospitals and hospitals. So normally these big laundries are closer to cities or metro cities, or you can say second line of cities. So otherwise, you will hardly find the laundries in the rural area actually. Of course, the distance serviceable is 35 to 40 kilometers from the city or the hospital. That is in India is quite okay. But if it is more than that, the city is beyond that, this thing going 50, then rate and costing will not work out. That will be difficult. And secondly, in rural area, continuously you won't get the power properly. Of course, you can get the manpower and all this thing for. But thing is that very difficult to get continuous power via water and all this thing and all other services. If you are here in an industrial area, then okay, you get all these things easily. But otherwise, my request to go to rural and make a bigger medium-sized plant is a bit questionable. Try to be closer to customer rather than away from the customer.
So my take on this question is that you should probably start rather small and test the market there.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah, but Chris, problem is the distance again, you see. Yeah.
Yeah, the rural area depends on the population density. Yeah. And also the habits then of the people, because if the people are accustomed to wash themselves because it's raw, then you might not have a market at all. And actually my personal opinion is you should forget the government programs. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
From my so government programs are nice as an add-on. So you make a business without you evaluate the business without government subsidies or whatever. And if this business is viable without subsidies, then you go to the government and say you need it. I'm so desperate. I if you don't give me the money, then it doesn't work. So,
doesn't work. Okay.
I have Patak. I have. Is this question answered for you?
Yes, partly. The thing is that it should be close, correct, but there are a lot of tier 2 towns which are developing, which have a lot of inns and lodges and restaurants. So therefore, if I'm operating from a rural environment where there's a village, it also generates employment. So Skilling India is an initiative by the government, which not for the subsidies, but it also enhances employment generation. Profitability is when you're right, if there's a density. So market survey and starting small, I get it, but I just wanted to know some basics, like if it is a, like Srivastav sir had said, if you have to set up a between 1 ton to 4 tons, I think it's a small thing, and above that it is a medium thing. So what is the space requirement, or what is the costing requirement? If you have to raise it through CSR funds as a activity to generate employment, along with being profitable. I wanted to know these details, but I will contact Srivastav sir later for specifics.
Mr. Patak, see, your idea is good to generate the skilled people, and that's a good thing. But problem is here that at the same time your business should also succeed. See, if your business succeed, then you will enjoy training of the people and the development of skilled people. You see, so the success of the laundry will depend how close you are to the customers. You see, correct, and you see, and of course here again another segment is there. The rates are for the lodges, for 3-star hotel, 5-star hotel, or 7-star hotel. Their quality standards and rates are again different. They are not same. So if I tell you some price for the 3-5-star hotel, what you are catering, it may not match to your lodges and other things. You see, so it is very critical question. Of course, I liked your views of developing skill, and even I like to make people skilled. But provided if you are going to rural side, you get people whom you can train, and you can, of course, these are very fantastic idea. But in case if your business doesn't work, then whole idea will be gone. You see, you will not have any purpose then. You see,
I agree with you, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is a lot of development taking place. New highways are coming up, so that density is increasing. One of the reasons I asked the question for the density is there any what do you say? Is there any thumb rule that if I
I'll tell you.
I just wanted to know approximate that if there are so many customers, or if there's so much of load, that means small laundry would be a viable thing, because
now specifically, can you tell? Sorry, can you tell me specifically the area? Like, let us, because I'm from India, so I would know the.
It is Shahpur. It is
Shahpur.
And the town is located 10 kilometers from where I am. I'm in a village, and power situation has improved. There is a Mumbai-Nagpur expressway which is coming up. The current highway, also a lot of hotels, restaurants, and even hospitals are coming up. So it is developing. Now, so from that point of view, I was thinking.
No, I didn't know that you are from Maharashtra, because I am from now sitting in Thane actually, and Shahpur is almost 60 kilometers from Thane, if I'm not mistaken. 50 by 60 kilometers. Am I right or not?
Yes, it is 60 kilometers from.
Yeah, correct. 60 kilometers. So Of course, you can risk on around making 2-ton or 3-ton plant there, as you foresee that there are some town development aside, or otherwise you can have alternate some hospitals from Thane or around area. You see, it is 60 kilometers. Definitely, it's on the borderline. You see, as I said, 30 kilometers is maximum. It is good. But again, this Nasik road is again developing. This is on Nasik road, isn't it?
Correct.
Huh? So
That's right.
that is okay. I didn't know that you are from Maharashtra. I thought maybe you are from other states or something. So that's why. So Shahpur is a good, you can say. You can try that. Okay. But
Right. I'll
thing
get
is
in touch
that,
with you later.
yeah, no problem. No problem. Huh? So nice. So nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is your question answered?
Yes, to a great extent. But as I said, sir, the details I will speak with Mr. Srivastav later. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I
The,
think
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
What I would encourage to get 1 or 2 big customers fast, and then set up the plant.
Yeah.
And still start small.
Yeah.
Because it's always risky to have an empty plant and then you need to get with cheap prices the volumes. So I think it's more, you need to get 1 or 2 very excited customers, so they like you, and then you try to get the next ones, and I think it's always easier to then work 2 or 3 shifts in one small place, and then buy or rent a bigger facility. Yeah. That's my
Yes, thank you.
and personally, I think it always depends. You and India are probably still in the process that the hospitals and hotels are outsourcing. So you can expect that the market volume for commercial laundries will grow for the next probably 30 years, 10 to 20 years. That's my personal feeling. I'm not an expert, but that's what I hear. So but on-premise laundries, they do not die fast. At least that's the experience that I have. So this is also quite nice, because when you have satisfied customers, then you get a nice slow growth. I mean, a nice growth every year, where you are able to close down OPLs, and getting customers that are outsourcing is maybe, from my experience, a very healthy one, because when you start to go into an area and just compete with your competition, then you are only cutting prices, and that's not so easy to sustain. So I think that what I would if you have the possibility to have 1 or 2 or 3 big clients, set up a business there, provide an excellent service, try to get others to outsource, be better than the competition. Yeah, that's my.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next one. Vidya.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. How to evaluate that my plant is efficient?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
The question is
now. Her
what
question
makes a plant
is
efficient.
Yeah. Her question is how to evaluate that her plant is efficient. That's a good question. You see, the best plant is that which is giving the lowest operating cost
Okay.
And the most satisfied customers.
and most satisfied customers and good quality of material which is coming out, and it sustains for years. You see, to do that, we need to actually evaluate the equipment. You see, we want to evaluate the people. We want to evaluate that, okay, your service is whatever there. We want to evaluate your rates which are existing. So there are various factors, of course, important to evaluate whether your laundry is efficient or not. And the straightway, if you are doing business, what percentage you are making profit and all these things, these are equally important to that. So it needs a evaluation of all your documents and even the facilities. And then we can say that how efficient your operation. I think if you, I will definitely, if you get in touch with us, so we'll definitely evaluate that, your unit. Okay?
Huh? Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
it's
sir.
a very intelligent question, but very difficult question. Unless and until we do some engineering audit of the laundry, complete laundry, then we'll be able to whether it is efficient.
Actually, what I do is maybe it's the same, but I visit. There's a Harvard Business Review article on how to evaluate a plant, and it's not about laundries. It's about every plant that you can imagine, like, I don't know, bakery or an industrial plant or anything. But you can also use it for laundries. And there is a checklist of 20 questions that you can answer yes or no. And this translates then to 11 criteria that you can evaluate from 1, which is worst, 5 is average, 7 is above average, 9 is excellent, and 11 is world class. And it evaluates basically customer satisfaction, cleanliness, teamwork, flow, and so on. And actually, this is it's on the one hand, I think profitability is important, customer satisfaction is important, but then this doesn't give you the so if profitability is he says in your area it's 35%, which is very high. In Europe, you are good if you have 10 to 15% of sales.
Yes.
But
yes.
Maybe it's different because I don't know. We have to discuss the metrics.
Yeah.
But there is basically a peer. It's about, the question is, you have other laundries, and these make a benchmark, and the benchmark is on the one hand quality. So if you are better than other laundries, then you should be able to get customers from the competition because you are providing a better service. So that's the benchmark, is on the one hand the quality of the service, and on the other hand you have the benchmark of the profitability, and if this is 35%, then it's 35%. Yeah. So if you are making just 25% of sales, then you need to improve there. And the question is then how to do it, and there I would recommend that you. I think these 7 points that are interesting ones, but on the other hand, you need to focus on your constraint. So what is the point that is holding you back? Is it that you do not have the right trained people? Is it that your plant facility, your layout sucks? Sorry. if whatever, what is you holding you back, and if you focus there and do not forget the other points, so you need to stabilize all the 7 points, but focus on the one that is holding you back, and then most of the time you're able to improve the operation within a few weeks or months, big time. So it should not be a project of a few years. That's my,
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Is your question answered, Vidya?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
okay. Anyone else? Yeah. So all the questions are answered, obviously.
Answered. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have one last question. Maybe we can make a poll. Let's make a poll. Come on. No polls. Sorry. Okay. Can you put it into the chat? Whether you liked the webinar, whether we should do another one. whether you are saying, please, please don't do it. Whether you have any topic that is of interest that we should dig in the next time. So if you put it into the chat, that would be nice. Or if you answer to my email that I've sent you, this is also a way to do it. And then you can follow us on LinkedIn. You, as mentioned before, you can subscribe to my email list. I'm sending out then an email where you just check the box and then you are subscribed. And then the question is whether you're. I personally, I'm from Europe. I think I can make some contribution because I'm an outsider, and outsider is also interesting. But the biggest contribution is from someone who has the experience from India, and I would encourage you to check out from Raj the training that he offers, and whether this is something that is appropriate for you, and take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we'll sum up this situation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you also for the questions.
Yeah. Thank you for the questions, and thank you for all viewers.
Yeah.
And we will see again with some new informations. Okay.
Okay.
Have a nice time, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good day. Bye.
Yeah, I hope you liked the webinar. If you have any comments, then just post it into the comment section of this video, and I'm sure that I will make other videos like this, and therefore subscribe to the channel, and we'll see us in the next one. Bye-bye.